is very serious because we had 19 days till we in a whole new paradigm. We have fire cleansing the lands all over. We're going to have extreme weather events that are going to continue to happen in this country. We're going to have extreme conflicts. We're going to have a new completion of cycles and new beginnings happen all throughout this year. We're in solar cycle 25, and we're in what they call a solar maximum, where we're getting more magnetic energy charged at the earth over, and it's judged by 11-year cycle in 2025 from January to October. It's that cycle. It increases the anxiety of the people. It increases conflict. It increases charge. And when people have extra energy, they need something to do with it. But it also creates weather events as well. These things will continue to happen. And because we don't have a level of cosmic understanding or awareness, then we just looking at our local events of what's happening and have no ability to forecast the future based on our cosmic connection and awareness to things. And I'm not talking about astrology. I'm talking about astronomy, right? Real events, not just predictive, intuitive intelligence, which is very real and very key during this time. And in an age of quantum computers, you're going to need to increase that as well. But a lot of people don't have that. I didn't go to a public school when I was younger, right? But if you went to a public school when you was younger in the 90s, they had ran programs to see who was actually gifted and had some of these predictive, intuitive, intelligent, psychic events, right? Or abilities, which is stuff that the CIA did. Some of you all may have, but they never tried to guide you into that development understanding because they needed to keep you, right, at a point to where they can control you. And if you were gifted, then they will pull you out and then they'll get you to work for them. But the way that we eat, the way that we live, it doesn't allow us to sustain a higher level of intuitive consciousness in the first place. So now we're in a place where we don't know what's going to happen. And most people can't predict a day ahead of their own lives, let alone 5 to 10 years out. Because for me, it's very easy. I come up with different dimensions of options of what could happen in the future. Let's say I come up with 5 different scenarios. Will it be banned? Will it not be banned? Well, if it's banned, what will happen? If it's not banned, what will happen? If it doesn't get banned on this day, if it come back later on? Well, if it does get banned, what will this going to be? You allow yourself to exist in multiple dimensions by thinking about these things, which require you to take some time, right? Before I like to come on social media, I like to find some time in silence to think. I come in my office, I might go walk this promenade that I have back here, and I think, what do I actually think about these things? And then that's when I hear God, that's when I hear clear thought. Then I communicate with the people. But if you're only on social media looking for your thoughts, you're not thinking. Social media is thinking for you. So even before you go back on TikTok and go back to doing whatever silly thing that you did before, right? Remember, the same threat continues to loom. They can control your life at the whim of a button. And your heart starts to panic because you have not set up your life in a way where you can save yourself. The government is literally running scams on the American people right now. And there's many people who decided not to educate themselves. You decided to just search through social media and see if that you can just, in the algorithm, find a solution. You decided to not invest in your education, your financial literacy, your economic literacy, right? Your mental health, your communication, articulative, creative abilities. I get it. You don't want a better life. There's some people who have decided to do that, to say, I'm going to take whatever I can to make sure that I'm serious. But for those who don't want it, that's up on you. But for those who do, I will be happy to assist you along that journey. Because listen, this whole entire year is very serious. Very serious. It's not no joke. They pulling out every stop and they showing you that they want to divide all of the people so they can control you at the top. So they're going to make things seem more racist. They're going to make things seem more discriminatory. They're going to constantly put out narratives that are disrespectful because they need to keep you emotionally engaged. They're going to keep pushing that this whole year. They need to keep you emotionally engaged. They need white people to not like black people and black people to not like white people. You know what I mean? They need you fighting. If you study the events of the Bacon Rebellion, You go all the way back in time, and you will find out even at a time where there were blacks that were slaves and farmers, and there was whites that was free whites, they actually had a coalition to go against the government because they had realized that the government was the one playing all of them. And the government decided to say, wait a minute, now we can't have this. Let's give these free whites more opportunity and more rights so we can separate them for the poor whites and the blacks, slaves at the time, seeing that they have the same enemy. So the whites was like, wait a minute now. They gave us some opportunity. You know what? Y'all back being niggas again. We can't rock with y'all. We can't build with y'all. And to me, I see a correlation of the same thing that's happening today. The easiest group to control, the number one, is the racist whites. You give them some pamphlets of revisionist history, they go eat it up. You know what I mean? You tell them that it's not their fault for slavery, they go eat it up. You tell them black people don't deserve nothing in this country regardless of what happened to them, right? And you shouldn't give them nothing, they go eat it up. You tell them FDEI and black people don't deserve to be, they go eat it up. Why? Because all of that, if you go back to the beginning of this thing, is built on this ideology that black people are inferior. And if they can feel superior, which most of them are hunky crackers without any intelligent thought in their head and can't decipher a goddamn puzzle, you feel me? But somehow they think they're superior than you. They will be citing statistics and all these things and throwing them at your faces. And your goal is to be above it all. Not say you can't slap nobody if they get disrespectful to you in real life, but it's to be above social media, not to be down here. That's low level. All that shit is low level. We, to me, to make our focus only to have high level conversations. February 7th is a high level conversation. It's an intimate event. I don't need everybody there. I only need people who's serious, right, about saving themselves and shifting the culture. And I don't want everybody a part of it. This should be a time where it should be easy for all of the black leaders to get together. So I don't want to hear nothing that black leader is saying. If it ain't about forming a coalition, if it ain't reaching across the aisle, if the Christian and the Muslim ain't connected, if the Democrat and Republican ain't connected, you feel me? If that's not what's happening right now, then everything that they saying don't matter and is only for them. I see rich guys get on here, talk shit about fake influencers and things of that nature. I don't want to hear no OGs talk no shit unless y'all building with the young minds that you believe you need to course correct directly. Reach out to them. Speak to them. Because the way these white boys is moving, they run in circles. And I ain't even just the white boys. What I'm saying is the ruling class. They ruling the game. They get on these media platforms and they put each other on. So that they can create the voices that they want. And inside their circle, they let each other know the plays. So they creating more rich and powerful friends for them to have inside their ciphers. We don't do that. We are money hungry suckers when it comes for any type of liberation or revolution. That's all we want is a little piece. I want the whole goddamn pie, man. At this point in time. Some real money behind these things that we go do. I got some great opportunities that's ahead of me right now that I plan on taking advantage of. And I need all of you all to realize that your goal should be to focus, to niche down, to educate yourself, to buy as much assets as you can, to get as many family on board with this and friends. And if they not, you cannot afford to try to convince people right now. I'm going to just be honest. If it's too hard to convince them, let them go. That's like telling people, listen, I'm going to go for freedom and they want to stay on the plantation. Don't try to convince people that want to stay slaves. Because Kanye West was right. Slavery is a choice because we had so many rebellions throughout our time, right? We fought so many wars to get our freedom. Nobody just stayed a slave. We were fighting the whole entire time. We've never given up. Our ancestors never given up. And our generation is not giving up. No matter what happens, we will never give up. We don't even have the ability to. We are such a resilient people. Such a powerful, resilient people. And resilience is that ability to bounce back quickly. It's when an object can get back to its original state of form after being altered. Yeah, they may have made some of our ancestors slaves, but we got back to our original form as inventors, as scientists, as warriors, as soldiers, as gods. That's our resilience, and that is what's going to be necessary during this time. Adaptability and resilience, because things will constantly be shifting, and it's your goal to stay informed. Stay informed. Do not allow things to emotionally sway you into different dimensions, because that's what happens. If you get into a negative state of emotional feeling, you shift it into a lower self. You get into a positive state of dimension, you shift into a higher self. Stay in the higher dimension. And it requires you to always have courage, because the moment you fear, you shift down. So you can feel fear but move forward. Yes, there's things you don't know, right? And when you don't know, you go learn. There's a process and a protocol for everything that you need to do during this time. And it's your job, nobody else's job, to execute on that. So during this time, find your focus. We have a high-level conversation dropping today. It's going to be plenty of gems with my good brother, Tall Guy Tycoon, right? I'm going to continue to fight to give you all high-level conversations, because I believe that this is the focus of our entire culture and what we need in order to win. And I'm going into a different type of focus and a different type of bag. And my goal is to make a quantum leap. I will be going live a little bit later as well, as I take observations in from this day. But this has been your brief so far. If you want to join us inside our community, you can join High Level Club, or you can join Infinite Wealth Strategies. We also have the Master Coaching Program. So just DM me. You can type in the word High Level. That is our monthly subscription. Once we get to 10,000 members, that's when we have the ability to do more things. And my goal is to build a city. Ultimately, I found my goal is I want to build a city. That is a vision of mine for the future, is to build a city. And anybody that wants to help, we go do it. We're going to have our own events that we're going to be doing, our own awards, our own Afrotech, our own high-level awards, inshallah, that we'll be getting to as well. So those that want to be a part of it, high-level media is looking for people. We're looking for talent. We're looking for sponsors. We're looking for people to get involved in this movement as it swells from the ground and take over the game. And anybody has any booking, it is 19keys at 19keys.com. Please don't send me a DM. Send us an email so we can actually respond to you. And let it be serious inquiries only. Otherwise, we will have to ignore you and put you in the spam box. But y'all have a beautiful day out there, man. Stay high level. Peace.